Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with a video, and I apologize for the shaky cam, but today I'm going to attempt to answer a question that I've had for a long time. Can a 4K TV with HDR on it replace, it's a 43-inch by the way in case you guys are curious, can it replace 3 computer monitors? And you might be asking yourself, well, why are you doing this if you have 3 monitors? Why would you do the expense? Well, I'm looking to simplify my desk setup a little bit if I can. And if I am replacing that much screen real estate with this, I'm going to need something really big. So there were some specs that I had to get. I knew it had to be 4K. I knew it had to at least be a 60 hertz refresh rate. This is a 120. You know, so I should be good on that. Now, this is a Hitachi 4K TV. I'll put the exact model in the description. I bought this at Sam's Club for $340 before tax. So for the size and the fact that it's 4K, that's a pretty good price. I don't really care too much about the smart TV features. I don't know if I'll use them or not. This is not really going to be an overall review of the television. If you guys really want to see that, just ask in the description below and I'll, dive into that. But ultimately, I'm going to decide if it's viable to replace those monitors with this. I read some conflicting things online. Some people say, hey, it works out fine. Others say it's garbage because of readability and all that. I don't know. There's only one way to find out for myself. Unfortunately, I'm hoping that this will educate a lot of people. That's the goal anyway. I'm not, I'll let you know. I'll be testing a pretty wide variety of, monitor scenarios with this thing, and I'll let you know if it'll work or not. So, without further ado, I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to swap out, and when you next see me, it's going to look quite a bit different. So, before I go, if you guys do decide to try this experiment for yourself, you're going to want to make sure you have HDMI cables that at least comply with the HDMI 2.0 standard. Because honestly, the HDMI cable I have running into my monitor right now, I'm not sure if it does or not. It's an older HDMI cable. It does 1080p just fine, but will it do 4K? I don't know. I do know that you have to have certain spec of HDMI cable for it to support, to support proper 4K at 60 hertz and all that. And this falls into that category. I got these just for a really great price, actually. These weren't $50, $60, $70. They were $10 for 2 9-foot HDMI cables. $10, and it comes with cable ties. Pretty awesome. That's a really fair price, I think, for these cables. Definitely not overpriced at all. So, anyway, guys, that's it. See you guys in a bit. Alright, guys. I have the TV on the desk alongside one monitor, and I can tell you out of the box, just hooked up, I was not impressed at all with the way my display looked on the TV for PC. It looks honestly absolutely terrible. The color's off, the whole 9 yards. Can only do 30 hertz. I thought, well, maybe it's the HDMI cable. I did switch it out with one of the new HDMI cables I got. It's still only doing 30 hertz on this TV instead of 60. So I was like, okay, well, let's see if at least I can, salvage the colors, right? Well, out of the box, I couldn't. I messed with the settings. The TV itself doesn't come with much documentation. I will do a little more internet searching, but, just intuitively figuring out how to make it look better with a PC, it's not that easy. I can tell you that much right now. And what I'm irritated about is I was like, well, I know that if I didn't do this, some people in the video might say, update the firmware on the TV. So I was like, fine, I'll hook this stupid ass thing up to the internet, download the software update for the TV, which is ridiculous, but whatever. I thought if I did that, maybe, it might change, add some settings or something for the television. I don't know. I know it's just me being stupid, but I was thinking maybe it would unlock some things or whatever. And with the TV restarts after it updated, I get this shit. I can't get past this. Well, I can, but it wants me to factory reset the TV. Basically, my choices are I either register this thing on Roku or I factory reset the TV. I don't really want to do either one. That's a huge pain in the butt. So, it's... I will link this damn thing. I already have a Roku account, and yeah, I'm going to change that code so it's not valid for no craziness, you guys doing things out there. Yeah, whatever. That's I'm pretty irritated, but what are you going to do? I'll be back to give my final verdict on this and some comparisons and all that, but I have to say, as of right now, this is looking pretty much like a failed experiment, which is a shame, because I really do like having this extremely large TV as a monitor. Oh well. See you guys in a bit. Alright guys, here's some things I've observed with the TV versus the monitor. Obviously on the right side we have the extremely large, for a 40, we have the 43-inch TV, and on the left we have a 23-inch monitor. I'm going to go ahead resume the video here. It's the same video, obviously, on both televisions. Now, I don't know how well my camera is picking this thing up. My camera's only 720p, so I apologize in advance for that one. But I can tell you, looking at the screens next to each other, the television does extremely well with a scene like this. This is obviously native 4K video we're looking at, and you can see more detail on the what's the word I'm looking for, with the picture. I mean, you can just see more detail, more pixels. But on the 23-inch, it's 1080p. It looks fantastic as well. Yes, it's a bit better on the 4K, but it's not even really up close. It doesn't blow me away with like extreme image superiority. So let's go ahead and stop that, because yeah, like I said, for 4K content, that TV definitely works great. So we'll be getting to that in a second. Okay. Now, if we look at basically 720p video, right? We got some guy there. Anyway, obviously something like 720p video looks, to me, it looks significantly worse on the 4K television, which is kind of a big problem, right? The skin tone looks way off on this TV. It doesn't look remotely natural. This one looks perfectly natural. So this is a majorly worse than the 4K. So for content like that, it's really not going to work out. So next up, I want to show you guys one of the most striking things. Now, here we are, and a lot of content is like this, where you're going to have a lot of white space and lettering. The color on this is way off on the Google logo compared to, in fact, it's so dramatic. I'm going to go ahead and move the camera a bit closer in so I can show this off a little bit better. So sorry for the jarring camera jump here, because I really want you guys to see this. Okay, right now what you're looking at, just scoot my chair in closer. Apologize, guys. Anyway, as you can see, that is the 4K television, and it is not really looking particularly accurate at all, right? As far as the lettering, yada, 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 right? And then and there's a lot of the screen, the backlight on it isn't super even for pure white as far as like viewing a page, right? But if you look at the monitor, it is significantly better. Okay, I know it might just appear, you know, brighter, but I tried turning the brightness up all the way on this television, and it didn't help. Okay, I'm also going to show ahead and show off just basically some text. I don't know how well this is going to come across again on the camera, but there it is on a standard monitor, and here it is on the 4K. And again, the 4K is not compared particularly well. Whereas the text is actually really clear and easy to read, it's the lighting. It's just the lighting, the way the television is lighted doesn't work for what I'm going for here. And I know you guys might say, "Oh, did you read the manual?" Yep, I tried. Right here is a manual for this TV. Sadly, it gives no real useful information about, you know, any recommended settings for PC or whatever. Just a whole bunch of crap. And that's basically all I could find as far as a manual for this thing, searching across the internet, was pretty much this kind of stuff here, right? Oh, yeah, I scrolled all the way to the bottom of this. But yeah, it's basically the same crap. It's same old BS. Nothing particular, even on Hitachi's official website, nothing could I find was particularly useful. So I said, okay, let's try just looking up. I Googled some basically general tips to use. Again, this is all the same stuff. I Googled some tips just about using a 4K television as a, you know, monitor, you know, just general tips. And I found stuff, you know, that I've already been trying. Not particularly useful. I am going to dig a little bit more, and I am going to mess with the settings a little bit more before I render my final judgment. But it's not looking likely. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm just going to mess with it just a little bit more. I wanted to show you guys this. If I can improve it, obviously there's going to be another part where I'm showing off the screen some more. If I cannot improve it, and it's just the same, it's looking like this is going to be, yeah, I would recommend it as a TV, but not as a monitor. Because as a TV, the content looks absolutely great on it. I viewed some content. If you're not reading, it's great. But unfortunately, with a monitor, well, you tend to do a lot of reading, and it's very eye-straining. And I can't recommend this as a monitor as of right now. So, anyway, I will be back with a conclusion, guys. See ya. Okay, guys, so you're probably asking yourselves at this point, what are your conclusions? Well, my conclusion right now is that for the time being, TVs still aren't, for the most part, now there are probably exceptions to this rule, but most TVs make poor computer monitors. Because this isn't the only television I've ever tried this on. I just had a renewed interest because, you know, we've just recently have gotten to a point where 4K TVs are affordable, you know, HDR, all that. I was like, well, maybe some of that stuff will make a difference and make it better from being a monitor, and sadly, no, it doesn't. All of the same problems from pretty much since the HD TV era have begun are still present in TVs as far as monitors go. The first time I tried using a TV as a monitor was back in probably like 06 maybe. I had a very small, really crappy budget television. It was like a 22-inch, and I paid like, I don't know, $254. Again, you got to keep in mind, or maybe it was even $3. I don't know. It wasn't cheap. I know that. At least, I mean, nowadays it'd be very laughable, the size and cost, but it was very cheap.
You know, that did not make a particularly great monitor, but I did use it as like a secondary monitor for a while. It was a 22-inch TV. That TV actually currently resides in my 7-year-old's room. She watches Netflix and DVDs on it. You know, that's the current fate of it. Then I tried again a year later in 2007 when I got a much higher quality television. I got a 47-inch that actually has a really great, and it wasn't cheap. It was like $1,200. Of course, now you can get one way cheaper. But again, time periods, right? Really high quality panel, and image quality on it's actually exceedingly good, but it's not particularly good as a computer monitor. I tried it, and it doesn't work. Pretty much, and then of course, most recently with this Hitachi television that I just tried, all of the same problems that I've always experienced with trying to use these things as a TV. It's always exactly the same problems. Color representation is often quite a bit off with these TVs. The lighting, the backlight, is not nearly as uniform for some reason on a television as it is on a monitor. It just isn't, which leads to severe eye strain, and it's just not as clear, not as crisp, blah blah freaking blah. For watching content or playing games or whatever, it's fine, but for the critical task of reading and, you know, text on a screen, they're just not good for extended viewing like that. Leads to eye strain. The television that I've showed in this video, I did try adjusting the settings for quite a bit of time afterwards. Still wasn't able to get it anywhere near to usable. So I did end up returning the television because I don't have a need for another TV. Another thing that irritates me, because this is the first TV I've bought in a while. One thing that irritates me is the fact that it's really hard to avoid buying a smart television nowadays. I don't know where the great demand for this is coming from. I know the last thing was 3D TVs. I never bought one of those. Not sorry I missed it. You know, the fact that, you know, just a TV can have like software updates. I mean, that's just, to me, absolutely ridiculous. It should just, to me, all I want in a TV is an excellent quality panel, right? Just the best screen you can get for whatever budget you're in. I want the screen just to be beautiful, right? The image quality, just fantastic. I'd like to be able to use it as a monitor as well. I don't think that's too much to ask. And just give me a ton of HDMI inputs. Maybe give me, for legacy's sake, one component input and one, you know, standard AV input. That's really all I need. I'm good to go on a TV like that. You know, maybe an optical out, something along those lines. That's really all I want on a television. I don't need a million features. I sure as hell don't care about smart TV capabilities with TVs that can get outdated and open to security holes. No thanks. That's something I don't like. Intelligent devices in general for a lot of reasons. I'll stick with PCs and smartphones, but other than that, I don't need really any of my other stuff to be connected to the internet. So anyway, that's pretty much it. You know, I know that if you've had any success using TV as a monitor, I'd really be interested to hear about it in the comments below. And I'm sure that, you know, because when I was reading those articles, they recommended specific models to use. To be fair, I did not use one of those specific models, okay? But to me, it's not worth now, you know, trying to track down one of those other models and giving it a shot. To me, it's just like, I don't feel like doing that. You know, I bought what I thought was a pretty decent television. I mean, Hitachi's a decent brand. You know, there were cheaper 43-inch televisions I could have bought. I saw one for just $300, and I was like, well, I'll spring for $340 and see if it's it. Sadly, that didn't seem to help. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. If you like this, thumbs up. If you hate me, thumbs down. Share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.